All right. So, welcome back to the SPOS 2 tournament. Looks like everyone's been enjoying this and the format, which kind of rules. I was a little bit concerned about having to run through every entry every time, but people are here for it, so I'll keep on doing it. This time we're going to be following the Z41, or Project Z41 by KevinTri through the tournament. Excuse me there. Still kind of wild here. This is kind of a, I think it was a partial refitting of a Bungalow Bill craft, the fifth season, or it may have just been something that Kevin had lying around. Or KevinTri had lying around. I don't remember at this point, so I'm sorry. Definitely huge Onyx Watch vibes. We've even got the logo. We've got, stone towers up top. Very cool looking craft. Aesthetically, I really dig it. It definitely has their kind of material choice as well, where you've got the alternating between alloy and wood, and you've got metal and stone for texture scattered around. I love the kind of central command tower. It's just a really cool looking ship. It's been fun to follow its silhouette around. I don't recall it being tremendously fast. Armor profile all looks pretty good. It's one of the bigger ships. It's not huge by any means, but it is, as you can see, very wide. Primarily just angry APS. We've got some of the max gauge allowed kind of diff secondaries sitting up top. We have some pretty large, pretty nasty main batteries. Doesn't look like there's zero clip, so we're not going to be going through some of the issues we've been seeing with other craft, where you pointed out one of the downsides of zero clip is that when you fire all of the shells that were loaded to your clips, your firepower drops while they're reloading. And again, since they otherwise don't have a huge drawback outside of their slightly increased cost, I'm kind of fine with that, and allowing that to be a determining health factor in close matches. It wasn't in the rule set, but it's just something that's going to be used from here on out. I apologize for it, but it does eliminate weird tiebreakers. It does help bring balance to the fact that zero clip are inert, which is extremely strong in this tournament, considering there were no ammo ejectors or other safeguards really allowed. So it's kind of going to be the way it is. I really like the use of the... Now, I don't know if this was intentional. Maybe these were originally actual slope blocks, or maybe they were originally blocks, but I actually really like the kind of texture that the square corners give to the ramparts here. It actually looks really cool. Like, yeah, it probably originally looked something like this, and you could have done the same thing here. But I think either way looks pretty cool. All the turret caps look pretty cool. These these deck diffs are kind of chunky, but, I like them. They got chunky charm. What can be said? I think these are also, yeah, these are diff boys. Interesting stonewood kind of composite armor scheme going on here. Oh, look at this. That's some nice APS protection on the center. That's probably why crams just blow it the hell up sometimes, though. Yeah, that makes sense. All right. It's a cool looking entry, man. I dig it. I like the angry APS energy that it has. It's going to be going up against the Emperor first, and let's see how things go. Nice recoil from the initial firing. Very fun. Oh, yeah, look at that. With the Emperor just going, like, pure center of mass, I think, yeah, you're already exposed your AI compartment. It does look like the Emperor has switched targets to... Ooh, this thing's going to be very fun to watch blow up. Look at all these blocks. And the fires. Oh, yeah. Yeah, this is gonna be cool to watch. I do love the angry APS energy. Always. God, the Emperor's torpedoes have problems. Is this gun disabled? No, I want to say. Let's see. Does look like the Emperor for now has let up on, well, it's definitely disabled now, has let up on firing at the center of mass. Very fortunate. And this is kind of a grudge match because I think it's been going back and forth with these two. I think we've got one victory in either direction so far. So this is going to be a bit of a tiebreaker. And it does look like it's going strongly in the Z41's favor this time. It has most of its guns still intact. Oh, it looks like these torpedoes might actually hit. Ooh, big explosion happening there. I have to imagine that was on the Emperor's side. Yep, torpedo did hit. Boy, every time those go kind of center of mass, it's kind of a little spooky. So how are we looking over here? You know, it says we've lost a lot of firepower, but the crams look mostly okay. That one looks less okay now. Alright, yeah, that's dry firing. That's dry firing. That one has a firing piece. That one has a firing piece. Oof. The Z41, definitely a mix of angry hole punch and internal damage, as we're seeing here. Fair bit of explosive ooh, God, the turret snipe. That was one that was still firing, too. Ouch. I never mentioned it in the other video, but I really like what Wesretz did with his turret caps here. The deco on them is fantastic, and I should have said something about it. Sorry to say something about it in someone else's video, but, like, it's just really good. Oh, boy! Alright, yeah, this was really close. Like, look at this. Man. The outer shell of this sucker, you know, as you would expect from HE and incendiary focus, has just been completely peeled away. Yeah, I can see why it's such a close fight between these two. They're both large, modestly weapon-focused craft. Somewhat vulnerable firepower systems, insofar as they are large. You guys both have very large turrets. You have functionally the same number of turrets as well, which is very funny. You're kind of both a 4-main battery, big battery style battleship. And that means, bye torpedo, God, you almost got him there. Oh, this one's gonna get him, yeah! Bing. I don't, oh, there's one cram. Boom. Oh, you know, it's still got most of its connection points. That was a meaty cram. But yeah, two really, really similar approaches. Similarly armored citadels, similarly shelled ships, similar sizes even. It's just one is APS, one is cram. The APS does have a distinct advantage, not gonna lie. Crams are weak this tournament, man. Their strength definitely lies in all hitting the same spot and just eliminating things. And we got real close this round, it looks like, but not quite there. And the Z41 is just, they're ooh, look at all the confetti of partial bars, I love it. Z41 looks like it's going to eke by with a little bit more health and a fair bit more firepower, although it did just lose an entire turret. It's not enough. fun first round. You two really chewed the shit out of each other's craft. Like, just fantastic. Beautiful open air ship design. I really love the modern aesthetic, quaint. We could just make a whole Airbnb. I'm trying to figure out where the frags came from. Alright, next off, the derpy terror of the seas, the Sporka. Another angry APS-focused craft. Looks like its first volley of missiles are going to do as the name implies. Unfortunate, but probably going to be seeing that very frequently. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. I have no idea how this is going to go or how to call it. Big central batteries have a weakness against the kind of decentralized firepower that I have, but it's largely going to come down to aim point, and we're already seeing I'm losing a lot of firepower very quickly because I am decentralized and rely on redundancy. Everything I have is more vulnerable, so this is really going to be big, well-protected guns versus many smaller, somewhat protected guns. Boy, those missiles really just doing a great job. Crams and missiles both coming in. It looks like I've actually lost like all of my missile firepower. Not what I was expecting to lose first against this type of firepower, because most of my missiles are above deck. Very interesting that they got targeted down and damaged like that. Looks like I still have 3-ish batteries left. Damage is starting to add up against the Z4. There went a turret cap. Oof. Those torpedoes really reach deep. Oh no. Oh, this is really close. Very interesting. Looks like the Spork is starting to pull ahead in health. This is little walls here. Doing a great job protecting its propulsion. Lovely missing missiles, as we've come to expect. Ooh, another big detonation on the Sporka, as we've also come to expect. She's looking pretty shredded, I imagine. Davy Jones and the Lobster are still there. That is some huge holes ripped out of her, though. Angry APS battleships. Love it. Ooh, more missiles coming in. Yeah, as we've seen, these missile batteries are really good at ripping holes through craft. Down to 36% firepower on the Sporka. I think we're engine dead on the Z41. Oh dear. I don't know if that's as big a deal because we're going around to the rear, which has both of its batteries online fully still. Another detonation from the Sporka. Or really the Shachunkant. Dread Pirate Lobster Boy. Ooh, man. I don't think these torpedoes are at the right depth to threaten your AI. Oh, I see. Yeah, your power station got shredded here. Who knows by what? Wow, look at the chunk. More explosions. Definitely looks like that was on the side of the Sporka. Hard to say how much firepower is left. Definitely looks like there's some APS going on. Getting down to the final minute. Oh, that's so many APS components. Oh god! Torpedoes chopped off a turret at the base. Really close. it does look like... Does this count as endurance? 5-minute matches? Is that an endurance fight? I don't even know. You know, really, the Z41 was winning in the beginning in a huge way. It just seemed that the longer the fight went on, the more... Ooh, I think there was some ammo back there. The more the fight started to go in favor of the chunky lobster. Are coming around to the second set of diff deck guns, although we're getting very close to an HP DQ here. 4, 3, 2, 1, and boop. Wow. I honestly thought that was going to go to KevinTri's craft there. The initial firepower was just really scary. Alright, next up against Sam's heavily armored and more heavily firepower focused Hydra. It has had buoyancy issues in the past, but god, that is some scary firepower. We're already seeing shells going through the ship and detonating turrets on the other side. Holy shit. Okay. Yeah, this is going to be interesting. The main turrets are already looking ripped up. Yeah, we're already losing firing pieces. This is another craft that actually is deceptively focused on redundancy. You can see in the silhouette here, lots of smaller turrets. All of their armaments doing insane damage. Oof. Does look like the Hydra has lost a fair bit of firepower. Going to chalk that up to probably the small... Oh god, there went a gun. I'm gonna guess that's due to the turret caps themselves being sniped. The stink bug has flown off and died. There are a lot of angry secondaries, so I imagine it crossed to this side and just got ripped apart. Not a lot of, like, visible external damage, but these armaments are just punching so deep. This is really close. Ooh, there went another turret. Had a bit of a bounce in the water there. Hydra down to 34% firepower. Unclear whether that's from zero clip or from actual turret deaths or turret cap. Oh god, there went another turret, speaking of deaths. Oh boy. Alright, we're tied on firepower. Suddenly. Oh, and already aiming for the frontal turrets. I'm seeing some shells going straight through. There's a huge detonation. Looks as if this turret did detonate there. It popped. So the remaining is the frontal and this deck boy. I think this one is internally shredded as well. No, it's intact. Alright. Z41 down to 17% firepower though. Looks like Sam's has had multiple holes carved straight through their craft. But, ooh, and it is starting to sink a little. Not rolling, still alive. Another really close fight. It's really good. Everyone submitted really good craft. This is a lot of close fights. This has been really, really fun to try to commentate and watch. Oh, center of mass shots there. Not what you want to see from the Hydra. That is not going to win the game. Especially not going for the comm tower. That is just empty space with no benefit to being hit. Oh, the hologram projectors for the logos. I see. What, you didn't make your... Oh no, another turret! I think that one was largely not functional. Speaking of largely not functional, I'm not seeing any fire from the Z41 anymore. All of its ammo may have been blown up. I think that is the first time. Oh, no, there went one round. All right, it still has a little bit of ammo. I think this is the first time we've seen a craft lose enough ammo to basically shut down its fire. KevinTri, do you mostly have centralized ammo reserves? Are they not really spread out very much? Or was this just a freak accident? Looks like we're engine dead now, too. You know what this silhouette kind of reminds me of? It's almost got aircraft carrier vibes. Just with how, well, boxy and flat it is. It's not really much of a insight there. It's kind of like screamingly obvious. I don't know how I didn't notice that earlier. Oh man, yeah, Z41 basically out of firepower, 2%. It's just this boy, this brave child here. It does look like we're mostly detection dead on the Hydra, though. Some of these shells are really going... Ooh. Damn, that was a big cut, though. Huge chunk. Yeah, this side really starting to look appropriately weathered for the fire it's taken. All right. Next up, the good ship Big Cheap and its angry Vanacram barrages will be taking on the shreddy fucking hole punch that is the Z41. So many APS. I don't have high hopes for the Big Cheap here, honestly. I don't know how well cram-focused ships are going to do against this, with the advantages that the, Ooh. Oh, God. Never mind. Cram just sniped a turret. Alright, I'll shut up. Well, not fully shut up, because it would be very boring. But, yeah, no. Crams did pretty good there, it looks like. Looks like the Big Cheap turning in. Oh, God! APS volley just got lucky, sniped another turret. I think this has mostly just been luck. I don't think this has had anything to do with the build. Just a really good aim point. Yikes. So now the spy plane's still alive. Where? Oh, there he is. Had one lucky APS snipe, one lucky cram snipe. Oop, there went an explosion on the Big Cheap. It's a pretty darn cool silhouette to watch. Oh, God. APS just blew out another. Of all the craft that I submitted, well, I guess all is a stupid word since there are two. Of the two craft I submitted, the one I would expect to get turret snipes would be the Sporka, because it just has a whole bunch of semi-penetrator APS. The Big Cheap getting them is bizarre. But that's just how aim point goes sometimes, I guess. Rough. Definitely weird that the Big Cheap wants to close them out like this. Ooh, damn. Big hits. Alright, finally the aim point's feeling a little bit more fair. It's picking weird spots in the front of the ship. No! You can't just switch targets to the last remaining gun when I say that. It's not how this works. Oh, fuck. Well, it's apparently how this works. I think the Z41 is firepower dead. Well, appropriate jet noise as the stupid, dinky little spy plane circles around. Yeah, 0% firepower remaining. Somehow. You know, this boy's firing. Little anti-air. Get him. Ow. No. You're done. Did you aim point spoof? That's a lot of triangles. Okay. I'll allow it, but you really shouldn't be aim point spoofing, bud. You know better. You didn't go all out with it. It's nothing too stupid, and your ship is huge. So that does explain some of the weird firing patterns other ships have had. I really like the order it despawns. Ah, there's your ammo. That's how you did it. Okay. That would explain why it went up. And now for Sam's second entry. I'm sure some of you are noticing the pattern now. At least for this particular ship's bouts. The Colossus, which was the first one we covered, actually. Doesn't look like it has the angle for broadsiding yet. Very regrettable, because the angry APS hole punch is going to be chewing away at yep. Oh god. The poor guns. Nobody ever thinks of the guns. I'm sure these two are not long for the world, but they got a couple of rounds off while it was approaching. Ah, there went one. Are you even going to switch broadsides, or are you going to go back to the side that was closest already? You are actually presenting the fresh side, not that this side got the fire. God, that sucks. Oh man, that's so sad. Yeah, I feel like I recall it going something like this. Oh no, the stink bug! Back to being a spy boat. Oh man, I don't think it's gotten a single broadside off this whole time. It's just been getting peppered. What a beautiful silhouette in the distance, though. What a lovely looking ship. That's really cool. What a cool shot. Sometimes this game just looks really nice. Almost always from a distance, but what can you do, huh? Poor stink bug in the background getting DQ'd. Swimming in circles. Oh, yeah, there it goes. I was pretty lenient with DQ. You get up to 45 points. Gives your ship a chance to bounce back up in the water if it starts sinking. For you to close the gap if you're too far away. But, no, I don't think the little boy's coming back. There he goes. I don't know how much firepower we have left on the Colossus. It says 42%. It's hard to say which percent of that is on the other side. It looks like we're starting to sink front first, too. That's a new one. Yeah. Not a tremendous amount of firing pieces left. It's like 2. Still moving, though, in spite of it all. I wonder if these deck mounts... No, the big boys are almost certainly meant for anti-capital batteries. I think the Colossus might sink. That's looking aggressively low in the water. Interesting. We've not seen the tournament so far. Not in this fashion, at least. Nose down like this. Huh. Testing against different types of ships always reveals such weird little things about craft. Interesting. Doesn't look like it's going to get low enough to disqualify. Z41, you know, Colossus put up a reasonable fight considering it never really got to bring its main batteries online until they were already chewed up. But this definitely looks like a pretty commanding win for Tri's Battleship here. Battleship, heavy cruiser, aircraft carrier. Aircraft carrier without a spy plane. Tragic. It must have gotten lost. The Onyx Watch aren't known for their planes anyway. We could have had a spy balloon, though. That would have been kind of fun. Oh, AI dead on the Colossus. That is definitely the first time we've seen that. Next up, against the Scourge of Iron. Fish's craft. Very fun to vote. Apparently, the Scourge was intended to be switching and alternating broadsides. It just doesn't want to. Yeah, at least half of those just went straight over. Fish was also saying he's not sure why it's suddenly being so inaccurate. Oh, interesting. This time the Z41 wants to run. Z41 and Fish both pretty good at turning, gotta say. Y'all are swervy boys. Ooh, that's a dead turret. Interesting. Hard to say how many crams are left on the Scourge. That was an ammo supply going up. Looks like in its entirety? Yes. Yeah. Yeah, it's just gone. We're gonna get another volley? Lot of explosions coming from the Scourge, which appears to be dead in the water now. Here's the second volley. Aim point still shooting at the back of the craft. That's really unfortunate. That is really unfortunate. Maybe going for the second ammo storage. A lot of little blocks in that. Oh, seems to have hit some more ammo. Okay, I mean, if it blows up all the ammo, that's just all she wrote. And I misspoke. The Scourge is not dead in the water. It is attempting to turn and deciding it doesn't want to. Well, you know, that's a decision. Really being lit up at this point. 38% firepower. It's hard to say how much of that is meaningful. Looks like it's actually gotten too far away and is starting to DQ. I don't know if it has the engine power to turn back in. The Z41, since it's heading forward, is not getting DQ points. I don't think the Scourge is going to survive this DQ. Nope. That is the second DQ we've seen from distance. Alright, here's a totally novel matchup. Muse, steampunk ship, looks like it had an early detonation, going up against the Z41. So far, really close in firepower loss on the opening volleys. Nice torpedoes. Those are nasty, dude. Yeah, those do some serious damage. Love the use of stone in here for health, by the way, and to make sure that you, like, never flip. Not that something this wide is going to have flipping problems, but hey, what you gonna do? Muse torpedoes have just been fucking on point all tournament. Like, whatever you did worked really well on these unguided suckers, man. Like, good shit. The Cram's somewhat less on point. Those missed by a pretty... This plane... Those torpedoes are really just shredding all the outer layers of armor. Love that. That's so cool. Boom. You know what? It might be going... Oh, there were a couple cram hits there too. I see gun parts. I see helium pumps. I see weirdness. Yeah, look at that. Center chamber, the main power station exposed. That could be a problem. Because I don't think this has backup power. Plane. Still alive. It's so chunky. I can't wait to look at that thing. Oh, alright. We have a dead turret on the Z41. Looks like Muse has exhausted its clips. That thing's an ADHD magnet. I'm sorry. We are dead in the water. I was scared that might happen. Torpedoes just ripping blocks off. Starting to lose some firing pieces. If I recall, the armor on the steampunk ship is quite interesting as well. Gonna be cool to check that sucker out. God, look at these blocks. I think my favorite thing about Muse ships might be the torpedoes, which should be pretty clear by now, I imagine. Might be because of the render distance mod giving you the torpedo wakes, which are just very fun to watch close. Oh, there went ammo! Did those rip all the way into the turret? Yes. Yes, they did. That might end up being problematic. Yup, there it went. APS were targeting it too, in fairness. I'm going to chalk it up to the torpedoes because I like them. It's... Oh my god, look at the hole that has just been ripped out of here. Look at that. Oh, just in time, I think, to see the final two turrets detonate. That was it. That's it. She's dead. Wow. An HP kill by Mew. That is rare. Jet noise today. Sorry about that. It is rather odd feeling that I can't actually give the Midnight Light enough materials to compensate for the low cost of the craft. It should have 126,000, but it can only hold like 45. It's so affordable if I do some bonus rounds or something. I might actually try to spawn 2 of these guys. I know I'd really like to do, Jock recommended some team fights against the multi-entries. That might be very fun to do. We'll see if I have time for that. I'd like to do it. I really like its secondaries. Watching all of those rounds go in is really fun. Yeah, just a cool little barrage like that. Some incendiaries in it. It's pretty cool. Already starting to sit a little low? Or does she just sit a little low naturally? That looks like a natural point, actually. It might just be how she looks. Not seeing as much firepower hitting the Z41. I mean, it has had most of its secondaries stripped off, and we've definitely seen some weathering on the main batteries, but I'm getting the distinct impression at this point that the Midnight Light is largely out of firepower. We're just not seeing any coming in here. it may all be facing the other direction. We're starting to see the rounds, yeah, splash through on the other side of the midnight light. Not what you want to see. Oh, there were a couple rounds coming in. Angry. Oh, this thing's kind of cool to just watch and listen to, isn't it? Constant barrage of shells. I love it's actually pushing it over in the water, like physically moving it on the x-axis every time it fires. Oh. Midnight Light still alive, which is impressive. It has been getting absolutely hammered by the full battery. So its level of redundancy and propulsion and AI is kind of impressive for it to still be alive. Zero materials, though. Okay, all of its mat storage is gone. Hey, up against the Fafnir. Angry fire doggos, time to take a shot at the Z41, see who has the nastier APS. Ooh, those went straight through. Doesn't look like they hit the turret, though. Interesting, the Z41 choosing to run. Not the most helpful maneuver, I'd have to say. It looks like these semi-penetrators may be running out of steam right before they hit anything important. Might just be a consequence of shell design there. Z41 is starting to lose some firepower. Fafnir also starting to lose firepower. Might be from it being zero clip. Hard to say. Definitely a lot of blocks being shredded off here. A lot of rounds still going out, though. Does look like it's mostly the rear batteries that are intact. Which would make sense for the firepower percentage-wise. Ooh, another big dip in firepower. Okay, no, that's the clip. That's clips or ammo, one of the two. Really having a hard time getting deep enough to destroy these guns. We might have more AG-focused semi-penetrators on the Fafnir. We appear to have lost some level of engine power. These props are not carrying us as quick. Very interesting. Definitely health lead on the Z41. I'm seeing very few incoming rounds from the Fafnir. Whether that is lucky aim point or just a difference in shell design is hard to say. It does seem like the Z41 is having an easier time getting through to components. I see steam leaks, but it looks like it's not quite enough to completely have disabled the engine, which is interesting. Usually once you pop a steam leak, that's kind of done. But they're still just barely moving us along here. And you can see it's really shredded the belt. Ah, here's our damage, yeah. It's really shredded the belt, but it seems to have a hard time getting past the belt. Very interesting. Very interesting. I might have to take a look at the shell design on the Fafnir and see what it was going for. Does look like we're both dead in the water here. Similarly sized ships. width notwithstanding, lengthwise. I'm excited to see the Fafnirs run through the combatants. It'll be interesting. He seems to have gone with Mecha seems to have gone with a different shell philosophy here. It'll be very interesting to see how it pays off. I'm tempted to think that he just got somewhat unlucky with aimpoint, given its performance against other similar APS craft. Definitely one of those. I mean, you know, I guess you could say Tri kind of deserved it after the brutal lucky aimpoint streak against it earlier on. Oh, it seems like all of the rounds left are like AA batteries and its detection blind on the Fafnir. Because we just had a whole bunch of proximity explosions for who knows what going up there. Oop. Big detonation. AI dead. Next up, Jacques' second entry. Also very secondary heavy on this one, if I recall. Mia Snail. It's gotten a couple secondaries stripped off already. Hasn't really lost any firepower yet either. Oh, there went a little bit. Looks like it wants to close. Always a risky proposition against these big, angry APS boats. Great against cram or missile craft, though. Darn, down to 60% firepower already. That is harsh. But this is a very firepower-focused build. Very much like... Oh, there's some of the torpedoes. They, I don't think they're going to hit. We have a handful of very firepower-focused craft, and at 34% armor cost, this, oh, another AI death. The Z41 is no slouch in that regard. Alright, final match of the day going up against the Serenade by the other Kevin and Laser. Another very APS firepower-focused craft. With right, it has proper APS hole punches, just some solid shot. Looks like it wants to close, though. That will give the Z41 a distinct advantage up front. Serenade already showing out of firepower. Blew through its clips fast, I guess. Hard to say exactly what happened there. The ammo on the Z41 getting detonated. It's down to half ammo. Definitely used to the Serenade being able to fire for a little bit longer before it reports low firepower. Not sure what would have happened there. Perhaps some lucky shots or lucky aim point. Z41 really content to run away. In this case, kind of saving it. Actually really helping the front turrets avoid damage from the Serenade, which is struggling to maintain fire. First round we have seen this. I'm wondering if maybe we lost a lot of armor or ammo and maybe even a turret early on the Serenade. perhaps this kind of APS firepower just really did a number on it. We're only seeing one gun firing right now. Oh my goodness. No, it looks like we have 3 batteries still intact, but I am seeing a lot of holes. Interesting. Both of these craft have wanted to alternate running away and closing from each other, kind of taking turns here, and that really seems to be favoring the Z41. The design of its hull and its deck with these very fat, chunky turrets means that it has largely been on target the whole time, whereas the Serenade has really only been able to fire from its front batteries. Unfortunate AI interaction in this one, it seems to be, along with a very early lead carved out by the Z41 in firepower. In fact, at this point, it does appear that the Serenade may simply have no guns left. Whether that's ammo or turret pops doesn't seem relevant at the moment. I have not seen that number move in a little bit. And I just saw a bunch of red blocks pop off. Usually gonna mean a turret died. Incredible. Wow. Hard to say whether that was an unlucky run or not. We'll probably see later on. I'm thinking of doing a kind of finals bracket for those who get through the round robins with the most impressive win score. Again, we'll see what I have time for, guys. I've been having a lot of fun. These are some beautiful ships. Thank you everyone for submitting. We've got plenty of matches left to go through, and we'll see how worn out everyone is by the end of it, and we'll kind of let that determine whether we want to see a bracket or not. But at this point, I'm calling a firepower death on the Serenade. It hasn't shot in a long time. I haven't seen the firepower number flicker. I think that is a kill. Good shit, KevinTri. You had a stellar run. In fact, you have won 7 of your bouts, losing only to a couple of craft. That's the best record so far. I think the second place was the 6 wins that we had earlier on. Very, very good run.